LB, they're linked with a move today for Magic Mike in goal, AC Milan keeper. Some real experience there. What do you make of that potential move for Chelsea ahead of the World Club Cup and next season?
I mean, he's a million times better than what they've already got. You know what I mean? So that's a start. Again, going back to the idea of what a transfer window should be, you should be buying better players than you have. Now, that isn't difficult when you've got Sanchez in there. But, it's a good signing. I don't think he's, like, elite. I don't think he's top tier, but he's a good player. He's a good goalkeeper. He won't make as many mistakes as Sanchez. And it's a clear improvement. So, yeah, good signing. They need to step it up now. I think they need another couple of defenders in there. And obviously, apparently they've got Delap, haven't they? So Delap's done. That's a risk, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, man, like, I don't know. I just think for Chelsea, it's just improving certain areas, man. I think, Maignan. I think they need another defender, though, for me. I look at that back line, man. I'm not sure about the centre-backs, mate. I can't lie. I think the centre-backs are not in that elite bracket. So if they could try and get an elite level centre-back, then they'll be looking good for next year, man. They need a winger as well, maybe now, especially Sanchez, as Sancho's gone. But I don't think there's like a great deal to do at Chelsea. I really don't. I think they just need a couple of players, maybe 3 or 4, and then they'll be ready to go.
They love an ex-City. They love an ex-City player because they're also talking to James Trafford.
Right. Okay. Fairs. Yeah, they do love. I mean, it's basically our academy, isn't it? You know what I mean? Is there? So, yeah. That'll be an interesting one. He's done fantastic in the Championship this year. I still don't know if I'd want to take that risk, because last year he was poor in the Premier League, and I don't know, like, if he's put any size on him because he needs it. Pause. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'd still get Maignan if I was them. Get Maignan, get a centre back, get a winger, and I think they're ready to go, man. But they won't win anything like serious with that manager, in my opinion, man. I think that manager is a stopgap. I think he's done all right. Yeah, I think, he can maybe take them a little bit further, but will he take him to the Premier League? Will he take him to a Champions League? I don't see it right now. But yeah, one more year, Maresca, and then see what happens next year, innit?
Yeah, look, I think he's a very, very, very good signing. I like him. I don't know enough about Joan Garcia yet, but certainly the Lille goalkeeper, Chevrolet, looks absolutely fantastic. And Diogo Costa, I'm a big fan of. Michael Magnan's another one I'm a fan of. I think he's a very good player. And I've got to be honest, I feel like Chelsea's positions, the goalkeeper is massive for me. Because if they bring Petrovic back, he's probably their best. Because that Jorgensen looks terrible and Sanchez is a clown. Let's be real. So when you look at the goalkeeping situation, it's quite clear that whoever they bring in is going to be better. Now, I hope they get James Trafford because he can't catch a cold, that geezer. He was absolutely embarrassing last season. He was dreadful. I mean, like, just to flick him over, he's tiny. That's why they put that Muric in goal, who's absolutely awful, Burnley. So, yeah, for me, Championship goalkeeper has done well. Maybe he needs to stay in the Championship and find his feet then, because he was not good enough when I saw him last. He looked absolutely awful. So hopefully they get him. But yeah, don't think they will. I think they'll get somebody like Maignan. I think that's a very good signing. And then obviously at the back, look, defensively they weren't actually that bad this season, Chelsea. I think Cucurella done pretty well. Colwell kind of grew into the season. I think Fofana's a very good centre half, but if I'm honest with you, injuries have just killed him. And I don't think that Tosin or Badiashile or Chalobah are at that level.
They're not good enough, man.
I don't think they are. Right back, they're fine because when Reece James is fit, he's quality. And when he's not, Gusto's pretty good. Midfield, I think they've got a brilliant trio, if I'm honest, with Palmer, Lavia and Caicedo. They've still got Enzo as well. And if they get a striker, which I think apparently they're going for another striker on top of Delap, which I'm not quite sure what happened to Nicholas Jackson. He's probably third choice, or maybe he plays out more wide. I don't know. And then Chelsea are starting to build again, And I think what's different with Chelsea this summer will be interesting to see how many young players they go for. Because everyone talks about Andre Santos coming in and Estavio coming in and all these young players. They're not going to hit the ground running. They're going to need a couple of seasons. It's very, very rare that young players hit the ground running, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a couple that you look at, but some of them need a little bit of time. We're quite lucky the fact that we've got Miles Skelly. Waneri might take a little bit more time, but he looks decent. But you can't rely on those to drag you across the line. And I think that's what Chelsea have done is they've spent a lot of their money on young kids. Some of which just keep getting loaned and loaned and loaned and loaned. You need to spend some of your money on your first 11 now.
There's a lot of talk, that Potts, as you say, about this Esther. I can't ever say his name.
Estavio.
Estavio coming in, and Don is a Chelsea fan that speaks about it, but a lot in the chat that wait till he comes in, he's this superstar. So you don't necessarily think Chelsea fans should get their hopes up of like a big instant impact.
So I don't want to say that I've watched enough of this guy to know that he's not going to be. I've watched little glimpses of him and Andre Santos and think, oh, they look potentially very good players. Are they ready to come in now? Well, we've got to see that, haven't we? I don't know if they're going to take ball by the horns. I don't know if they're going to be able to take Chelsea across to that next level. But certainly if they can help and contribute in the squad, that's fine. But I think what Chelsea needs to do is look at that first 11, first of all, before they start buying more kids. That's just my opinion. And I think a striker, a winger, a centre-half and a goalkeeper is where they need to start. And if they bring that in, I do think Chelsea have got a really good chance of going for a title next season. I don't think they'll win it, but I think they can go for a title.
Matt Laura said this today, and I wanted to read it out and see whether you guys think this is enough in terms of Chelsea's attack going into next season. He said that Chelsea expect Delap and Nicholas Jackson to compete for the out-and-out striker position, with Ekitike or another versatile forward providing a further option from deep or a wide position.
I think it's more of a risk than going for an Osimhen. I think it's more of a risk than going for Gyökeres. But I'm not saying that Delap or Ekitike aren't going to kill it at Chelsea, because I think they're good players. But I do think that it's more of a risk because they might not. Whereas I think it's pretty unlikely that Osimhen or Gyökeres are going to walk into Chelsea and score 1 in 15. But I don't know what LB thinks, because I know him and Osimhen and Chelsea have got this kind of ongoing thing. So I'll let LB talk on that.
Well, obviously, Chelsea don't want to pay Osimhen what he's worth. So they'd rather just sign about 5 players, probably pay more transfer fee for 5 players than they could just get Osimhen, and probably pay higher wages than they can just pay for Osimhen. So, I don't know what they're doing. Waste of time. They should just sign Osimhen, but they're not. They're going to sign all these players. And listen, it's a risk when you do that, man, because, Delap, I rate Delap. I think he's a good player, and I think he has the potential to be a top class elite level striker. But surely Chelsea want to be winning the Premier League next year. Surely Chelsea want to be trying to win the Champions League next year. Is that not legit? What are we doing here? So I don't know, man. I feel like with Chelsea, if they start signing young players, obviously that's just I'm just gonna be like, yo, are you even serious anymore? I don't know if you're serious. You know what I mean? I don't think you're serious anymore. Roman would never be doing this if he was the owner of that football club. So yeah, we'll see, mate. But I'm not convinced with the way they're currently moving, if I'm being honest with you. I think they should have gone out.
How much is this Ekitike, by the way? How much is he?
They're talking 90 million.
Oh, that's a mad amount of money.
That
might be euros, to be fair, but 90 million, between 70 million and 90 million pounds. I'm not too sure exactly.
I'm surprised that's the case when we got Marmoush for 60.
Was the asking price they're putting out there for him? Let me Google that again.
Maybe you can. Maybe. I mean, they're not going to pay that, are they? They're not going to. I wouldn't be spending anywhere
80 million pounds, according to the standard here, is what they're asking for. It's 80 million pounds.
That's an incredible amount of money, that, for a player who hasn't really lit the league up. I mean, he hasn't really destroyed it, has he? I don't know how many goals he scored, but
people won't pay 40, 50 million for Osimhen. Wild.
Yeah, I'm with you, LB.
But no one wants to pay the money. Do you know what I mean? Wild. Go and get
84 million pounds for him. Let's be real. I'm not saying that Ekitike would be an absolute flop at Chelsea, but don't you think that is more of a risk, spending that much money on someone who's that raw and is not ready to take someone to 30 goals a season than you would for Gyökeres or Osimhen? I think that's mad for me. I think that's crazy. But look, if they get Ekitike, Jackson, and Delap, they've got 3 strikers. But who is the best out of those 3? Do you know what I mean? Jackson's done okay, but not, for me, done enough. Delap is a risk because he's not done it at that level. He scored a few goals for Ipswich, but could he take Chelsea to the next level? Ekitike likewise. I don't know, man. I don't know why they don't just go and get Osimhen. I'm with LB, man. If they want to go Osimhen,
they don't pay the money, man. No one wants to pay the money in it. So they go get worse players, and then when they don't win the league next year and they finish 4th again or something like that, they'll go, oh. All the fans will be going, why are we for it? Why? Oh, we need a goal scorer. Just like Arsenal fans did last year. Arsenal fans did the same thing last year. Oh, we'll be all right with Havertz. Go through the season, don't win anything, and go, yeah, we need a goal scorer. And now they're going to go and spend 60-odd million quid on Sesko or Gyökeres and probably give them 250 grand a week. You need someone to put the ball in the back of the net. That's the aim of the game. Osimhen's there. He's done it for years, paying the money. It's not rocket science.
I can't disagree.
You can't disagree. It's facts. How can you disagree with facts?
One of the other options from a wide position, they're looking at Gittins, that they are looking at Williams, who we'll move on to in a minute, but potentially Alejandro Garnacho.
Oh my God.
Credible link. I'm not making this up, Chelsea fans. Don't get angry at me. I'm just reading it on your aggregators accounts.
I hope they get him. They've wanted him for about 12 months. I hope they get him. That would be hilarious, if I'm honest. I mean, they've got Sancho. That ain't worked. Now they're going to go and get Garnacho. I think that's worked. Look, out of those three options, I genuinely think Nico Williams is probably the best of the bad bunch there, because Jamie Gittins is a project player at 20. Obviously, Garnacho's still young. And Nico Williams, I actually am not a massive fan of, but I think at least he's proven something at some form of level at the Euros. The other two are yet to be convinced by me, if I'm honest with you. Look, I think as left wingers, there's only really two, and Arsenal in this boat as well, that I would look at and go, oh, that's a good signing. One of them is Rodrigo. We don't know the availability of him now. And the other one, I do think the other one is Adam Lukman, if I'm honest, because I think at least he's on fire at the moment. The others are all got question marks for me. I've got to be honest with you. And Chelsea are no different with Gittins and Williams and these guys they're being linked with. Garnacho, I'm sorry, guys. Do you think that's a good signing, LB? Garnacho?
That's just a horrific.
He's class, mate. He is absolute top class. He's top class.
No. You're not going to do this. You're not going to try and sell the player. You're not going to try and sell the player. Yeah. That would be horrendous, man. That would be horrendous. Lukman is a top player. Yeah, he's a top. You want to talk about top player? Yeah, Lukman's a top player. Yeah, and he got a little bit of versatility there across the forward line. Yeah, Garnacho is not a top player, man. You know what I'm saying? So that'd just be wild. Again, but like, it's just very projecty again. Like, why is it so projects, man? The projects. Where the here and now players? It's all projects, mate. You know what I'm saying? So this is why, like, if I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be a little bit concerned, mate. I'd be a little bit concerned.
Seb here says the issue with Osimhen is his wages. He wants to. I keep hearing that, and I'm like, it's $250 a week. It's not astronomical, is it? I don't look at that as absolutely crazy money. Personally, I don't.
Well, they just don't want to pay the money, like, for whatever reason. Yeah, but at the end of the day, he's the best striker on the market right now. So there you go.
I'm a Man United fan from Canada, enjoying the show. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that a lot. This year from Kerikos says, will be interesting to see what the offer was for Sancho. All Fab said is that we won't match his wages at United. He doesn't deserve 250k plus, but would have kept him around for a max 180. I read it was between 140 and 150. That's one of the Chelsea aggregators put that out. But yeah, he said no to it. He's got 1 year left at Man United. No option to. I think we've got an option to extend, but we won't. So look, the irony is though, this is why it doesn't make sense unless he's going Saudi. This is why I think he might be going Saudi. Hear my logic here. If we loan him out, yes, he'll be getting the full amount of the full amount of money. But in a year's time, if he doesn't kill it, he's going to get less than Chelsea have offered him. Saudi are interested. I've got a feeling Jadon Sancho might just say, and fair play to him, because a lot of people defending Sancho are saying the man deserves his bag, pay him what he's worth. If that's his train of thought, maybe he's going off to Saudi where they'll probably pay him because he is a massive star, massive social media following. It will help put bums on seats to games over there. They'll probably pay what they're paying Tony. They're paying Tony like 400 grand a week.
400, yeah, tax free.
He'll get that easy. So yeah, that's where I think he's going to go.
Go and get the bag, Sancho. I'd do it if I was you, mate. Yeah.
Glad what Sancho had done for us. This is from Kieran, a Chelsea fan. Glad to see him move back. Great news on Mike. How do you actually pronounce his surname? Is it
Maignan? I think Maignan, yeah.
My
I
name.
just got him,
Yeah.
yeah.
I literally call him Magic Mike. It's easier for me. And then I haven't said his name for so long. I'm like, shit. Just a few signings away, in my opinion. What's your thoughts?
But top class signings, Kieran, isn't it? If it's Garnachos,
yeah,
and Gittins and that, then probably not. But you need top class. You need X Factor players, man. Yeah.
This here says Osimhen wants 250k a week after taxes, which is about it's about 470, I think, in the UK. But yeah, 500k a week, which is outrageous. Would Chelsea be crazy to pay him that amount of money, in your opinion, LB?
I think 400 grand a week. Give him 400 grand a week.
There we go.
You got to pay the going rate, man. That's the going rate. You don't want to pay the going rate to get out of the sport, mate. That's the facts, innit? Like, you want the best players, you got to pay the money, mate. That's not rocket science.
Jimmy here says Esteval. I can't say his name. My head's gone. Looks like your Esteval. I'll get it right. Esteval looks like Yamal's level, but will take 2 years.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough to know that he's Yamal yet. If he's Lamine Yamal level, wow, Chelsea have got an absolute baller. I love Lamine Yamal. I think he's class.
A question for the panel. Which one is more of a clown? Sancho deciding to stay, or United spending 300k a week on a player that doesn't even play?
United's wages are a mad thing. Yeah, I got sent something yesterday. I was like, I could not believe what your wage structure was. It was scary, man. Like Mason Mount and Anthony and Casemiro and like Sancho, Rashford. I'm like,
but this is also
wow.
This is also why, though, I've told people to be patient with Ineos. Doesn't mean you ignore bad things they do, but your wage bill is more important to your recruitment than the transfer fees you spend. That has to be fixed before we can actually start to bring in a lot of players that you want. You can't add to that because it's already ridiculous and they're all earning far too much money. And a lot of work has been done. Like Rashford will go and Anthony looks like he's going to leave. That loan has worked out well. Cass is very likely to go this summer. That frees up the ability to sign these players that are now coming in. So that's why, again, I don't hold Ineos accountable for those players. They didn't sign any of them. They didn't put any of them on that money. Do you know what I'm saying? So I can't sit there and be like, screw you, Sir Jim. They didn't fucking give the deal. It'd be very weird, do you know what I'm saying, for that. But no, I agree with you. We made some massive decisions, awfully bad decisions.